Welcome back to another episode of the Sister Talk podcast. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva. You already know I'm just a sister with a lot to talk about, and from week to week, I got more and more things that I would like to talk about. And since your good sis has been on a hiatus for the past month, I'm sorry. I got a lot of things that I want to talk about. Listen, I'm not going to slight y'all just because it's been a couple of weeks. Listen, I got a lot of things I want to talk about before we wrap up this 2024 season and before we move into 2025. Now, before we do all of that, I want to remind you all, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please click this subscribe button at the bottom of this video and make that button turn red and turn on your notifications so that you're notified every time I drop a video, and help your sister on her road to 200 subscribers. Listen, we're very close. So if you're not subscribed, please help your sister, okay? Listen, we only got a couple more followers to go, and I know we can hit this goal. So help your sister and make that button turn red. Now, what's been going on with your good sis? Okay, listen, y'all probably like, twin, where have you been? Listen, your sis been a little bit of hit here and there. You know, y'all listen, everybody that follows me on social media always say, girl, do you ever sit still? Like, you always somewhere doing something. So as you all know, if you follow me on social media, I've been doing a little bit of traveling. Ended up going to Charlotte, North Carolina for about a week or so, just spending time with an old friend, seeing the area. Charlotte is just one of those places that will always have my heart. I go probably at least twice a year at this point. Just because I just love it. Like, the people, the environment, everything about Charlotte just like appeals to me. And I've actually been going down there more often just to kind of see if this is where your sister wants to land in 2025. So nothing is set in stone yet, but listen, the big God is in control, and if that's where he wants me, that's where I'll be. But listen, Charlotte is that place for me. I love it. And then shortly after that, I went on a short trip with one of my sisters and my cousins to New York. Enjoyed that. That was her first time going, so just got to experience that with her for the first time. It was a cool day trip. Definitely, New York is a place that I like to go, but it's not on my top of the list of places that I like to go, especially if I ain't got no funds, no dividends in my pocket, okay? Not saying I'm broke, just saying New York is expensive, okay? And that you can't even breathe air for free in New York, okay? Listen, everything costs something. So you guys, sis, I've been doing a really good job with balancing life, balancing my goals, because like I said, we're coming to the end of 2025. And so also, I think the last time that we left off, I was letting you all know that my final project for school was dropping, and we actually released the Only on my channel. So if you haven't to check that out, go ahead, check it out. It's a quick watch. It's about 6 minutes. Don't blink your eyes because you might miss the most important part. But I really think that the message was received well. I think that people that have known me for so long and have seen my work, starting from Vicious Cycles to where I am now, see the growth in the technique, see the growth in just the visual itself. And so that I believe that it was received pretty well. So I'm happy. I'm excited for what the future holds for me. And then, your sis finished. I finally finished film school. Listen, I got my digital certificate, but my physical copy is in the mail. So I can't wait until I get that. But it has been a journey, and I'm happy that I decided to take that leap back in the beginning of this year, because I've learned so much, and it really ignited a fire in me, and I believe that it's going to prepare me for my next step in life. And I say that to say that 2025 is going to be a year where I believe that every seed that I planted in 2024 will spring up and produce fruit. And with that being said, your good sis has been working very hard. I believe 2025 already started for me because I've been doing the groundwork that a lot of people say that they're going to do January 1. I've been doing that groundwork for about the last month or so, just trying to get my ducks in a row and just make my intentions very clear, because one of the things that I feel like we ask God for certain things, we ask God to move in certain ways, but when we ask Him to move, are we truly prepared for the blessing? Are we truly prepared for what He'll bring to us? Are we ready? And so, as the saying goes, get ready. Well, stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. And that's what I feel like I've been doing. And for those of you that don't know, I own a company under the Comic Sauce name, and I work under the Sauceworthy Productions moniker. I want to let you all know that in 2025, I will be offering various photography services, whether it be for those headshots that you all like, whether it be for products that you all are offering in your own businesses, whether it be for events, whether it be portrait photography, because I've been kind of dabbling in wedding photography as well. Whether it be, you're an influencer or a musician or artist and you need video content for your page, I'm one of those people that can help you strategize, help you come up with the finished product, and help you deliver something great to your audience. So with that being said, keep an eye, a lookout for my list of services, because I will be unveiling those to you all very, very soon. And let's work together. Let's help each other in this journey. Because you're the artist. Why should you have to worry about doing the production side of things when you got somebody like me that could just do it for you? So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for the different opportunities that I feel will come from that. But without further ado, because I feel like I've been running my mouth. Listen, I know it's been some time. I missed y'all. And I just want to, let y'all know what's going on in my life. Hopefully everybody has been enjoying the holiday season. Hopefully you all have gotten time to spend with your families. Hopefully you all have been enjoying some good food. And most importantly, hopefully them children haven't been stressing you out. So without further ado, y'all, it's time, okay? It's time to spill the tea, okay? Listen, like I said, always make sure you got your pinkies up. Now listen, your good sis don't have no wine today. We going into 2025 hydrated. Listen, I'm just going to drink my water, and I'm mind my business. I'm mind a little bit of everybody else's business too. But listen, only for the sake of this podcast, I'm minding, some other people's business. But like I said, keep them pinkies up. The tea is hot. Now, the first thing that I want to talk to you all about, and I believe that we talked about this topic at the end of last year, because the situation happened in August of 2023, which is give you all a update on Lizzo's sexual, should I say sexual? Again, whatever. But listen, TikTok ain't gonna be around too much longer anyway. So, well, that's what they saying in the streets. But sexual harassment charges, sexual assault, and things of that nature. We reported on that back in August of 2023, and of course, after that situation came into the media, it seemed like Lizzo disappeared from the public eye, and we didn't see anything from her. But now she has finally broke her silence. She sat with Keke Palmer, our girl. She sat with Keke Palmer on the Baby This Is Keke Palmer podcast, and she finally let us into what the situation was about. Now, for those of you that don't remember what I'm talking about, there was a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court alleging that Lizzo pressured her backup dancers to touch nude performers at an Amsterdam club. They also alleged that Lizzo often weight shamed them, and they claimed that Lizzo's Big Girl touring company subjected them to racial harassment when it allegedly treated the black members of the dance team differently than other members. Now, the crazy thing about it was, if y'all remember those allegations, I mean, some of that stuff was crazy. They was in there talking about they was throwing dildos and all types of, I don't know what the heck they had going on. But it did sound a little crazy to me. I'm not going to say that I didn't believe it, because I mean, listen, like I've been telling y'all lately, Hollywood been getting a little Holly weird, okay? So I don't put nothing past nobody in Hollywood. Goes on the Keke Palmer podcast and she opens up about the situation. Now, she opens up and says that her work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. Her character has been criticized. She said, usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something that I am not. Now, on that podcast, the thing that I thought was very interesting, because listen, after the podcast, I had to do a little digging, had to do a little research, had to figure out what the tea was, okay? Now, listen. So, after that, like I said, I did my research. In the podcast, she says to Keke Palmer that the case had been dismissed. Now, my thing was, what I thought was crazy after doing my research was, all right, when she said that, my mind immediately went to like, oh, okay. The sexual harassment charge was like, it was dismissed. Like, obviously it was fake, whatever. Well, okay. Listen, I had to do a little digging. The case that she was talking about being dismissed because it was two actual lawsuits. The first lawsuit was by three of her backup dancers, Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez. They sued her for the alleged sexual and racial harassment and hostile environment charges. Now, a month after that, there was another lawsuit. Now, this particular lawsuit was from one of her wardrobe stylists, Aisha Daniels, who alleged that while the singer preached about body positivity, employees were forced to work in a racist and sexualized environment. Now, at the time, I didn't know that she got sued twice. Now, when she says that the case was dismissed, what she's talking about that second case. The second case that the wardrobe stylist alleged against her, that was the one that got dismissed because of, I want to say, technicalities. Basically, the judge said that Lizzo or some of her affiliates could not be charged. Basically, they got to charge the production company. Like, they can't charge her per se. They can't sue her, but they can sue the company. And so that's what she means by got dismissed. The case is still ongoing, so they're pursuing it as far as her big girl touring company, but they're not suing her directly. Now, that made me think, like, okay, I think y'all being a little sneaky, because now we gotta think about semantics. Now we gotta think about apples to apples. Like, y'all trying to tell us that the lawsuit got dropped, so now people gonna be thinking like, oh, okay, Lizzo's innocent. However, that bigger charge from her three dancers is still alive and thriving. They are still working on that. Now, she goes on this podcast also with Keke Palmer, and one of the biggest things that she says while she's on there is that the case taught her a lot about what type of boss that she wants to be. It taught her how she can't just be hanging out with her employees as much as she wants to take everybody in as family and stuff like that. Now, me personally, that caused me to really think about the situation. I really feel like there may have been a situation where Lizzo thought, oh, I'm sexually open and this is who I am and I'm free and I'm fluid and da 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 da. And these people are my people. This is my tribe. I can trust them. So I'm going to let my hair down and I'm just going to be me and we're just all having fun. When in reality, I don't think that those dancers probably looked at her that same way, because when we think about it, a dynamic of power, your boss is always going to be your boss, whether or not you're hanging out or not. And it kind of blurs the lines a little bit on both sides. What I personally think happened is Lizzo probably was thinking that it was completely innocent. She was out with these people. Now provided she says that that she didn't bring them. She didn't tell them they had to go. They just showed up. That's number one. I will put that in there. But my thing is, I feel as though Lizzo was having a good time. Like I said, she thought these people were somebody that were her tribe, her people, and she was just having a good time, forgetting to realize that she was also these people's boss, and she didn't protect herself in that way. And so I do think that she probably was egging certain behaviors on and, just having a good time, but not realizing that her actions actually made these people feel uncomfortable. That's what I think happened. I'm not going to say that it was like a Diddy party where she forcing this on this one and forcing this on that one and making this do that. I'm not going to say that that's what the case was. But what I believe, based off of the things that she said and alluded to, I believe that she is a sexually free person, like she said. And I believe that she probably just thought that it was an innocent situation where she could just have a good night out with people who she considered to be her friends. So I do think there's definitely a lesson to be learned in this situation. I do believe that, going forward, she needs to assess who her real friends are and keep it kind of separate. Don't mix business and pleasure. That's what they say. And if you do, listen, have them sign an NDA or something. I don't know. But y'all let me know down in the chat. Do y'all think that Lizzo was being malicious? Do y'all think that Lizzo was forcing these people to do something that they didn't want to do? Or do you think it was a simple misunderstanding? Do you think that, she was just trying to have a good time and didn't realize that in the process of her having a good time and throwing dildos around, that the people around her was uncomfortable? I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, and this situation cracked me the hell up because, all right, so we talked about several vanilla babies on this podcast. We didn't talk about John B. We didn't talk about Robin Thicke. But now we're going to talk about Justin Timberlake, okay? One of the original vanilla babies, okay? Now, Justin Timberlake had a wardrobe malfunction in his Nashville show during his Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Now, I don't know if a lot of you saw this video going around, but there's one part of the show where he's in this harness, which the harness normally goes between the legs and everything is very tight, very secure. He's in this harness, and basically a young lady took a video of him while he was in this harness suspended, and it was kind of gathering up in the crotch area, and it showed his package or lack thereof. Now, the funny thing about the whole situation to me was headlines read, Justin Timberlake is bringing micro back. So that says all you need to say. Listen, the fans got a package deal apparently, and they saw his whole junk or lack thereof. Listen, I don't know. You look at the video and you tell me if is it more to meet the eye, or is what we see is what we get. But I brought this whole situation up because it was so crazy to me. So basically, after that show, it was a situation where they basically said that because of how it rolled up on him and made his clothes gather up, that it was a not safe for work situation. And so when he got back to his next show, you can seemingly see that now this shirt that he has on is a lot longer in the front so that you can't see this man's package anymore. And I just was like, leave that man alone. Okay, y'all done made that man self-conscious about his little package. And my thing is, so of course TikTok be bringing stuff back up because we didn't have TikTok back in the day, back in the early 2000s when NSYNC and all that was popping. We didn't have TikTok. So TikTok brings up the old dirt. Now, what I didn't know, and I'm sorry, judge me or judge your mom, I didn't realize that Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears were dating back then. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. But apparently they were dating. Apparently, she allegedly got pregnant. And apparently, he told her to get an abortion because we know that they don't have any children together. But in the midst of Britney Spears actually writing her memoir, writing her book, she basically spoke on Justin's package, basically telling us that he had a small package and basically telling us that he's very self-conscious about it. That's why he wears loose pants. He's very self-conscious about it. So I don't know. Listen, take it straight from the horse's mouth. And we saw, listen, the proof is in the pudding. We saw the man. But the thing about it is, y'all not going to keep telling that man to pop his bussy. Listen, y'all not going to keep telling him to pop his bussy. He's still, look, put some respect on that man's name, okay? Listen, leave that man alone. Y'all just stressed that man out to the point where he had to change his whole wardrobe, okay? Just so y'all little freak Jones don't be focusing on his package. Leave that man alone. He trying to give y'all a good show. Now, the thing that was crazy to me that y'all ain't talking about is, that was even more cringy than this, was when on that same tour, one of the other tour dates, he did a small segment of "Back That Ass Up" by Juvenile.
Use a big fine woman, won't you back that ass up?
Cringy, okay? Listen, stay in your lane, JT. And oh, you know what? And we did talk about JT. I knew we talked about JT, but I could not remember. It just came back to me. We talked about JT with his demonic video that he had, and I told y'all it's lacking the seasoning. I don't know. It's lacking the seasoning. It's not. It's a no for me, dog. Like, I don't know what's going on with JT. He's giving good effort. Listen, he's giving good effort, but leave that man alone, okay? Leave him alone. He can't do nothing about his body, okay? God made him that way. Don't make him feel bad. Do not shame him. Now, now, I am going to shame somebody else. And the reason why I'm going to shame this person is because those of you that know me know that Darnell Jones holds a spot in my heart, okay? And I know y'all know, just left my baby girl a message, said I won't be coming home, rather be alone. Now listen, y'all know that song. I've always said that part 2 was better. The reason why I say part 2 is better, listen, you tell me. I'm saying I'm sorry for leaving you, but I wanted to start my life brand new. I was going through changes and could not see. Is that with you is where I want to be? Listen, that's my jam, okay? Shorty got eyes on me. We been talking since 2, girl, what you gonna do? So listen, it pains me when I'm a fan of somebody and I gotta talk about it. Listen, I'm not gonna be biased. I gotta talk about the ones that I like too. Now, Darnell Jones is a video that was going around of him. He just had a performance. And baby, listen, before I go any further, just take a look. Take a look. That baby was pushing them notes out, okay? It was a struggle situation. But the funny thing about the whole situation to me was the comments. I told you I run to the comments, okay? Listen, I should Sha'Carri Richardson to them comments, okay? The first comment said, that's Darnell Rawlings. Now, if y'all don't know who Darnell Rawlings, that's crazy as hell for them to compare that man to him. Then somebody said, it's either he off key or did a key. I mean, it is giving her a little, okay, listen, don't shoot the messenger. Then somebody said looks like Dame Dash impersonating Darnell Jones. Somebody said get him some hot tea with lemon and honey. Then somebody said I was waiting for a sweeter little dee dee. Somebody said I'm gonna stick beside him. Listen, I don't know if I'm gonna stick beside him or not because that baby was pushing them notes out. But I will say a lot of our faves are getting older, and it's clear. And I know, some of them can't keep their voices forever. So we gotta accept the fact that they're getting older. And maybe that's just what we have to deal with. I don't know. Listen, y'all let me know down in the chat. Y'all rocking with them? You still standing beside them? Or what? Okay. Now, this person I'm about to talk about, I don't think that we ever addressed this person on the podcast because I try to stay out of married folk business as much as possible. I really do. But Rashida Frost and Kirk Frost, Love and Hip Hop, put him on to make him want to marry me. Okay, listen, we know who Rashida is. We know who Kirk is. Apparently, Rashida finally filed for divorce after 25 years with this man, and they're now in a $50 million settlement. Now, this comes after the whole fiasco that happened on Love and Hip Hop where they're basically saying that, Kirk got Jasmine, which is his other baby mom that he stepped out on Rashida with the first time, that he got her pregnant again. And we got to see some of that unfold on Love and Hip Hop, where they had an exchange, all three of them, and basically he got caught up because there were some text messages of him trying to get the cat. Okay, for exchange, he was trying to trick on her a little something, something. He was trying to get the cat so he can give her some funds. That's what happened. Now, my thing is this. Rashida and Kirk have been in the media for several years at this point, and I think a lot of us are surprised that this is now happening after all these years, because I don't think a lot of us ever thought that she would leave his side. And my thing is this. There's so many people talking about this situation, but the one thing that I will not do is celebrate this woman's marriage falling apart. I will not celebrate that. The reason why I will not celebrate that, the reason why I will not judge this woman for any decision that she has made in this process, is because, one, marriage is a different union, okay? This is why a lot of y'all getting married and y'all divorcing within a year. Is because y'all don't understand what a marriage is. At the end of the day, it's through thick and thin, till death do us part. Unconditional love. Like, you're supposed to be able to ride with your partner and get through some very, very tough times. Our grandparents did it. Listen, Pop had a whole family down the street, and his wife knew about it. As long as he was bringing that bacon home, she didn't give a damn. So at the end of the day, it's been going on for so many years. So y'all not going to sit here and bash this woman for the decision that she tried to make and celebrate the fact that her family is now separating. My thing is this. We need to encourage her, because y'all don't know how much it took for this woman to walk away from this situation. At the end of the day, Rashida is a strong woman for standing by that man. Because I'm going to tell you what, that's why I'm not married yet. And I'm not sure if I am capable of being married, because there's a lot of things that you have to put up with in marriage, because it's not like it's your boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, they have history, they're tied together. And so, that's just my spill on it. I just want to talk about the fact of change the narrative. Like, don't be so excited to talk about this woman's downfall and bash her. Listen, at the end of the day, like I said, she only has filed for it. It's not finalized or anything like that. And you know how divorces go. Sometimes they reconcile. My thing is, if that's what they choose to do, that's what they choose to do. And we just got to accept it. They put their lives in front of us, and we just got to accept whatever decision that they choose to make, even if we think it's dumb. Because there's only so much that a woman can take. And Rashida is definitely a strong one, okay? But she deserves better than Kirk's crusty behind. Okay, now, next. Next, because there's so many other things that I still want to talk about. Listen, I'm not slighting y'all. Listen, since I've been gone for a minute, now I'm back with the jump off. I'm going to keep on spilling the tea. We still spilling the tea. Now, this next thing that I wanted to spill the tea on is a situation that you all may or may not be familiar with. Now, there's a term. Y'all know I always got to put y'all D, because, listen, times is changing, and the world that we live in, these are the things that our children are being exposed to. There is a term. The term is called swatting. Now, what swatting is, and where it gained popularity, was in the gaming community. This has been around since about 2008, but I believe that it's now making more waves because of one of the prestigious and well-known streamers right now, who is Kai Cenat. He actually was a victim of swatting very, very recently, okay? And this is how it became a part of my radar. But what swatting is a criminal harassment act of deceiving an emergency service into sending a police or emergency service response team to another person's address. This is triggered by false reporting of a serious law enforcement emergency, such as a bomb threat, domestic violence, murder, hostage situation, or a false report of a mental health emergency, such as reporting that a person is suicidal or homicidal and may be armed, among other things. Now, like I said, so basically, long story short, people prank calling the SWAT team and saying, hey, such and such and such and such is a danger, such and such and such, y'all need to go out there. And now you got a SWAT team knocking on the door, fully armed and geared, thinking there's a threat, and now posing a threat to a person who has no idea that they're coming. Now, like I said, this happened to Casa not that long ago, back in November during his Mafia-thon 2, where basically like he was streaming continuously for a period of time, and all the proceeds were meant to go to developing schools in Nigeria. This happened to him where basically he was in the middle of a live stream and he gets a knock on the door, and now it's SWAT coming to his door fully armed. Now they got to search the premises, they got to turn things upside down, this and that and the third. And literally what this does in that community is basically keeps that person from reaching their goal. For those of you that follow Casanat, y'all know that he was trying to meet a certain goal, break a certain record when it comes to streaming. And literally a hater, because that's what it was, a hater saw him about to do his big one. And they was like, you know what? Nah, we can't let that happen. And they called the SWAT team on him. Thank God they didn't find nothing. Thank God nothing happened to this man, because there is history of things happening when it comes to swatting situations. Just to name a few examples of different swatting incidents, because now it's pouring over into politics. So back in 2013, Miley Cyrus, Ashton Kutcher, Tom Cruise, and Justin Bieber became frequent victims of swattings. Then in 2014, Jordan Mathewson was swatted live on air during a gaming stream. The swatter called 911 and reported an armed hostage situation at his location. And this was one of the first major viral events that caused swatting to become more widespread, especially among gamers. Then there was Wichita swatting. A police officer shot and killed Andrew Finch in his home after responding to a swatting call. The swatter, Tyler Barris, had attempted to target another player but mistakenly uses Finch's address, and Barris was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Now, that's important because right now there's no laws around swatting. It's hard to prove swatting. Now, the reason why it's hard to prove swatting is because a lot of people in that gamer world also have experience with hacking and things of that nature. So typically what they do is they pretty much phish and hack the system to get the user's address, and then they also infiltrate, they make it seem, they use software to make it seem like when they make this phone call, number one, it's untraceable. Number two, when they make this phone call, is that it seems like it's somewhere in the vicinity of where that person is. So this is some really high tech stuff. Now, the scary part about it is it's funny to the person who's making the phone call, but it's not funny to the other person on the other end of it, that who knows what mental state they're in that day and how this situation could escalate. Who knows? But the reason why I want to tell you about it is because, like I said, this is a trend that's becoming more popular. A lot of your children are tuned in and tapped into these streamers, and they're being exposed to this activity. And so I just want you to know what your kids is being exposed to, because God forbid they think it's funny and they call and do the same thing to one of their little friends or something. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts down in the chat. Let me know how y'all feel about swatting. Because honestly, this swatting trend really was the first time I was like, you know what? Yeah, I see why people outside of this country think we're dumb. Because we be doing some dumb shit. We be doing some dumb stuff. Why is this entertainment? This is getting out of hand at this point, the things that people do for likes. So let me know your thoughts down in the chat. But we just gonna keep on rolling. Now, that was the end of the spill the tea. I hope y'all enjoyed that tea. I hope y'all caught it while it was hot. I hope y'all kept them pinkies up. But now, it's time to give them their props. Now, who are we giving props to this week? Now, like I said, listen, I gotta get these things off my chest before they take TikTok away from us. Y'all know I love TikTok. Y'all know I be tapped into TikTok. TikTok be putting us these to the game. Now, there is a black-owned pastry company that is sparking a lot of controversy and conversation on TikTok. Maybe you heard of them, maybe you didn't, but I'm here to tell you about it if you haven't. It's a brand called Bop Tarts. Now, Bop Tarts stands for Black-Owned Pastry. Okay? That's what it stands for. Now, black owned pastries, and they also go by the name. No, hold on. I'm not gonna put the cart before the horse. Black owned pastries was started by John Gray, Pierre Serraro, and Lester Walker. Now, the company that they created, and which is the overarching brand of these Bop Tarts, which has everybody in a tizzy on TikTok, is the fact that they named this company Ghetto Gastro. Now, a lot of people are outraged because they're like, I think they missed the mark with this one, dog. Like, why would you name something ghetto? Like, y'all didn't like figure out like brand awareness, like whether this was a good idea. But the reason why they named it Ghetto Gastro is because in all, it really has a different meaning to them. Now, ghetto to them means innovation. It is in our name as a reminder of why we do what we do and who we do it for, to honor the underrepresented, underestimated, and too often ignored. It's our calling card, a way to say we see you and a way to make sure y'all see us. Now, as a person who specializes in branding and marketing and things of that nature, it's a well thought out plan. I think that it was very thought out. I think it was very intentional. And I think as long as they continue to drive that story line and tell that story and make sure that's what's being portrayed, I think that it's no problem that they have ghetto in their name. I think people, kind of want to play into the I don't know how to say it. They want to play into these old constraints of how we used to feel like people looked at us. And I think ghetto is another word, kind of like the N word, where we kind of want to change the tone of it. And I think that it only has as much power as we give it. But right now, the reason why I want to give them their props is because right now, their product line, and they have a range of toaster pastries ranging from chocolate raspberry, which is the hardest one to get your hands on, to PB&J and maple apple cinnamon. They also have a pancake and waffle mix, which comes in strawberry and sweet potato, which is a fan favorite. Now, these products are currently being offered in Target. And over the years, we have seen Target, make more of an effort to include people of color in their product offerings. And so I think it's a major accomplishment, and I think they deserve a hand clap for making it a Target. From what I see on TikTok, from the people who've tried it, and listen, TikTok is going to influence me. They are on the more pricey side, but that's because their ingredients are natural and things of that nature. But I do want to try it because I'm very intrigued. I do like Pop Tarts as a snack sometimes, so I do want to try it. But from what I've seen, nothing but great feedback on the taste. I don't think I've seen one person say that they don't like the way that it tastes. So the controversy basically is only about the name Ghetto Gastro. So y'all let me know in the chat. Well, first and foremost, give these young brothers a round of applause for creating this for our community. But also let me know down in the chat, how do you feel about the Ghetto Gastro name? Is it an issue? Would you buy a product that you saw, if you hadn't heard this story and you saw a product on the shelf that said ghetto in front of it, would you buy it? Would you entertain it? Let me know down in the chat. All right, now guys, we gonna get a little bit less formal. All right, we're gonna get a little bit less formal. I got a couple topics for y'all. Listen, I'm trying to give y'all all of what I missed over the past couple of weeks. Now, there's a few things going around right now, okay? Two things that are heavy on my heart. If you're on TikTok, which a lot of you are, you may have come across this trend where a lot of people are talking about like getting half off flights or half off hotel rooms, and how it's a scam and how it's fraud. My thing is this, okay? Listen, we've been dealing with situations like this in the past. Like, it was under wraps. I think that some things need to be kept quiet. Think about how many people that we knew growing up back in the day that who had a hotel connect or a flight connect or whatever the case may be. So those are things that have always been going on. But I think the issue now is that, okay, you got people blowing it up all over social media. So now where people were getting away with it, now it's becoming a trend. Now it's becoming something that people are talking about, and it's something that the authorities are actively looking for. So there were two situations that I saw on TikTok, one of which where a young guy was talking about how he had a connect on a hotel room and basically saying that so let me explain to you if you don't know what this whole phenomenon is about. So basically when it comes to this room situation, the person says, "Oh, hey, I can get you a half off hotel room." What you do is you send them half of the money for the room, and basically they pay for it with credit card numbers that they probably, scammed or bought or whatever the case may be. So basically it is fraud. And so in turn you're getting your room for half off, and they get whatever benefit that they're getting from the situation. Well, this guy goes on to talk about he took that connect and he took that hookup, and basically he was in the middle of enjoying his night. He had a couple of people at the room, they was having a little kickback or whatever, and basically they knock on his room and say, "Hey, um we gotta see, is this your room? We gotta see ID, and do you have the card that's on file?" He says, "Oh no, it was booked by one of my friends, da 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 da, I don't have the card." Well, in turn his behind ended up in jail because obviously they don't have nobody else to lock up but him. And the same is true on the other side of the situation, where people are doing the same thing for flights. And basically, this guy talks about how he did the same thing. He gave somebody half of the money for the flight. They put it on their card or whatever the case may be. They, I guess, sent him the boarding pass. He gets there. He goes to swipe the boarding pass. It basically triggers fraud. And now his behind is in jail because he don't have no proof of the card that he put it on or nothing like that. And so basically just saying all that to say, y'all need to be careful. Be careful. Cause they out here watching. Look, they waiting and watching to see what y'all gonna do. And so, I just wanted to talk about that because a lot of people are like, now y'all know it's fraud and y'all still gonna get caught up. Like, y'all still gonna get caught up. I don't have no thoughts about it. Like I said, getting where you fit in. This is something that has been going on for a very, very long time. We always had connects and things like that. So let me know your thoughts down in the chat. Have you ever tried it? Will you try it? Do you have a story to tell where it happened to you and you end up in jail? Let us know in the chat. Now, the next situation I want to talk about, now the reason why I want to talk about this is because there was a video on TikTok of I want to say she was a Caucasian female who does nails. She was sitting in the video where she was doing a client's nails or whatever. And basically, as she's doing this client's nails, one of her other clients walks in. She begins to talk to this woman and they have an exchange. Now, I'm going to play a couple of seconds for y'all and y'all let me know.
Final inspection and everything.
Hey.
Hi. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You missed your appointment yesterday?
Yeah, that's what I'm actually here for. I didn't have money yesterday, but I got paid today, so I'm here for an appointment.
Didn't you get the messages that I was sending you?
I probably have them muted.
Okay, well, I sent you a couple of different messages. Since you did no-show, you're going to have to pay that no-show fee, but we can totally get you rescheduled after you pay that.
Well, I only have enough money for my one set that I need to do today, and I didn't have money yesterday, so it's like I couldn't come in. Like, I had to no-show.
You could have, first of all, let me know, but also if you don't have money, that's not my responsibility to make sure that you have enough money for your appointment. If you don't have enough money, you shouldn't be booking a nail appointment with me.
Okay, but like, you're rarely here anyway, so I don't know why you have to charge me for a cancellation. Like, I'm here now.
I'm here
it's
every
literally
single
less.
Day.
Okay.
I'm here every single day.
It's literally less than 24 hours.
I'm with a client right now.
I'm just saying it's literally less than 24 hours. Like, you're being ridiculous.
Yeah, but you didn't let me know, and I could have filled somebody else in that same spot where you missed your appointment.
Okay, and obviously you knew when I didn't show up. It obviously didn't take that much time.
We can talk about this another time, but you're interrupting my client's time right now, and this is her appointment slot, so she deserves to have my full attention.
Okay, but literally, I drove all the way here. I finally have money. I don't want to drive home.
But basically, in the video, what happens is this other client walks in, all lackadaisical. She had an appointment the day before and thought that she was just gonna pop up at Shorty house, and Shorty was gonna honor the appointment that she had yesterday after she did a no call, no show type of situation. And she begins to get into an exchange with this woman and basically tells her, because the lady told, and she was very respectful, very poised the whole time, and I think that she handled it very well and professionally, and I think she handled it as she should. And I think a lot of business owners can take a page out of her book. But she basically told her, because you did a no call, no show, there's a certain fee for that. And then you're more than welcome to book your next appointment, whatever. This woman proceeds to tell her, oh, well, yesterday I didn't have any money. I didn't get paid until today. So such and such and such and such. And the woman goes on to say, well, did you get my text messages? I corresponded with you. You didn't say anything, da da da. And this woman basically just tries to make it okay and makes it a reason why, a good reason as to why she never texted this woman and let her know what was going on. I understand how humiliating it can be in a situation to let somebody know about your funds, but at the end of the day, you own up to your shit. We're all adults. And so the reason why I want to have this conversation is because this is happening far too often. Because I have a sister who is a cosmetologist. She does hair, she does makeup, she runs her own business, and she does require a deposit to book her appointments and things of that nature. But she tells me about situations where people waste her time and they don't correspond. Literally just a couple of days before I saw this video, she tells me about a young lady who booked an appointment with her, paid the deposit and everything, and then when it was time to come, the young lady never responded back to her, never corresponded with her, never said anything. And this was 30 minutes after appointment time. So basically 30 minutes after appointment time, now she's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and cancel your appointment and I'm going to move on with my day. And my thing, I just couldn't believe how this young lady carried that situation. In the clip that I just showed you, I can't believe how she just carried that situation, because she was getting loud and rowdy as if she was in the right about the situation, and basically not respecting this woman's hustle, not respecting her business, not respecting her processes, and most importantly, not respecting this woman's time. And so I want to have a conversation about it, because I think that is so wrong for people to feel entitled to somebody else's service and time and feel like, oh, they need me. No, because the real good ones, the real good people who provide these services, they have clientele, boo. And when you just fell out of the lineup, you didn't give this person an opportunity to make their money, and that's completely inconsiderate. And I understand that like I said, I understand things happen, but my thing is, it's not that person's fault that your life is lifing. And as an adult, we have to hold ourselves accountable. As adults, we have to take responsibility for where we're at and communicate like adults, because everybody want to talk about how good they communicate until it's time to communicate. All that girl had to do was text that woman and say, hey, I thought I was going to be able to come today. I didn't get paid, so I'm not going to have money until tomorrow. Whatever. She didn't even have to say I didn't get paid, but she could have just said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it today, and own that responsibility of it, because obviously you like this woman's work, or else you wouldn't keep coming back to her. And then the furthermore is, you want to tell this woman, oh, well, I don't have nothing to pay the cancellation fee or the no call, no show fee. I just have enough to pay for my nails, and I was hoping that I can get them done today. Girl, the audacity for you to show up to this woman's door like she don't have a life. And there's no telling whether this woman had a family, had kids, or anything like that. So she could have been doing anything else. And for you to walk in and have the audacity and that you think that you have the power to have claim on her time is crazy. And so I want to talk about it. Listen, y'all let me know. Listen, those of you that are in the service industry, as far as providing hair, nails, barbers, people who cut hair, anything if you have been in a situation where you've dealt with somebody who does a no call, no show situation, how did you deal with it? And how do you think this young lady dealt with it? Because I think that this young lady should be the model of how business should be handled. Because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, people, start businesses, but they lack customer service. And I believe this woman did an amazing job being respectful, professional, and offering great customer service, not only to that client that wasted her time, but to the woman that was right in front of her as she was doing her nails. So y'all let me know down in the chat, what are your thoughts? We got to, like, what can be done to stop this from happening again? I don't know. Let me know down in the chat. Now, guys, that is the episode. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that it didn't let you down after making you wait so long. I know there was a lot of things that a lot of you wanted me to talk on, such as Papoose and Remy and all these other things that are going on in the world. But I chose to give y'all this little tidbit. So we're gonna hit it strong in 2025. We're gonna hit some great topics. There's a lot of different things going on. The one thing that I wanted to talk about was that damn Pope. Okay, listen, because I could have talked about that on Conspiracy Talk. I wanted to talk about that damn Pope opening up that door that gets opened up every 10 years or something, they said, and they calling this thing a portal. Listen, if life start lifing and shit start hitting the fan in 2025 immediately, y'all know why. Because people don't leave things alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. But listen, I had a lot to talk about. I talked about a lot. I could have talked about a lot more, but we only got a limited amount of time. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being so supportive for another great season of the Sistah Talk podcast. Just thank you for just supporting and showing up and tuning in. And I'm always open to feedback. So if there's ever anything that you want to hear me talk about that I don't talk about, if there's anything that you want to see more of, let me know. If there's specific guests that you would like to see right here on this couch with me next season, definitely let me know. But I hope you all had an amazing 2024, even through the ups and downs, because I know this year was uncertain for a lot of us, and I know this year was hard for a lot of us. But I hope that in the midst of the trials that you all saw the joy and and got the lessons, because a lot of the things that we go through in life is to teach us something and help us move forward. So I hope that you all got what you were supposed to get out of 2024, and I hope that these last couple of days of 2024 you will take the time to prepare and prep for what your 2025 looks like. And I wish you all abundance, joy, prosperity. I wish you all healing. I wish you love. I wish you financial freedom. I wish you all the great things to come in 2025. So I want to say farewell and happy new year. And thank you all for tuning into the Sistah Talk podcast. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva. And if you would like to follow me on social media, you can follow me on all social platforms at goldchain__diva. And also, if you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button to help your sister on her road to 200 subscribers. Like I said at the beginning, we're very close, and I appreciate all the help on my journey. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great night.